evening, everybody. We're here with Sex Ed Before Bed. I think this is lucky number 7.
Woohoo!
I know. Episode number 7, the lucky one. We're here at the Pacific Junction Hotel. I'm so grateful for them hosting us with this lovely space. Caitlin, you were outside just like wondering, like, where am I supposed to be going?
It's a bar. It's an actual bar.
For those who don't know, it's an actual bar. Yeah. And, today is a great day, in my opinion, because yesterday was, because basically the abortion pill it's now fully subsidized in Ontario. So it's a big thing.
Woohoo!
Yeah, damn right. I mean, I'm pro-choice, so I'm all about that. And it had already been available in New Brunswick and Alberta, but now we got it in Ontario, which makes it a whole lot more accessible. Because it's basically $300 to $450, and that can be a barrier for people. So just a little bit of sex ed before bed for everybody. I honestly have done no sex education on this show at all. I just let my guests do the teaching for me. But I figure I should just do a little.
Here you go.
Let me break it down for you. There's 2 types of abortions that you can get in Canada, surgical and medical. Basically, up until this point, surgical has been the most common. And basically how that works is you go to a doctor at a clinic or a hospital, and it's also known as vacuum aspiration. So basically, the cervix, or the opening to the uterus, and for those who don't know, the cervix is at the end of the vaginal canal. And it looks like a little donut.
It looks like the head of a penis.
Yes, exactly. With the hole being the entry point, the os.
Yeah, the os. The OS is called the os, like the Wizard of Oz.
I'll take you to the candy shop. So yeah, basically the cervix is dilated and the embryo and the tissue is removed from the uterus, and it only takes 5 or 10 minutes to perform, and it requires a local anesthetic and medication to help you relax. So if you want to do it in the hospital, they'll also use general anesthetic, and then you can be put to sleep for this. Now, let me tell you about the other kind, which applies to what has recently happened. The other type of abortion is medical, and basically it's when you use pills. And it can only be used more early in a pregnancy, up to 7 weeks from the first day. Basically 7 weeks into your pregnancy. So, medical abortion is basically, it involves mifegamidose. Oh, I'm killing it. I'm butchering the name. But now instead of going now it's more available that you can actually take it at home. So it's more accessible. So, cheers to you, Canada, for getting your ish together. Yeah. All right. Now, I want to introduce my illustrious guest, Caitlin Roberts. Your middle initial, you use that as well. Caitlin L. Roberts?
Caitlin K. Roberts.
Caitlin K. Roberts. Okay.
Caitlin Roberts is a very boring white girl name. I had to spice it up a little bit.
Yeah, get the K in there. And you're already spicy enough. You got so many things that I'm excited to talk to you about. You're a project addict, self-defined.
Yeah, I do have a problem with that.
I mean, you coach sessions out of Oasis as well?
No, I take one-on-one clients for somatic sex education sessions. Mm-hmm. And then I occasionally do workshops at Oasis or like host events.
Okay. Oasis is a sex club.
Oasis is a sex club.
A great one, I think. And you have a wonderful blog, To Be a Slut.
I do, yeah.
Right? Tomorrow I'm going to Slut Walk.
Amazing, yeah. I think that we're going to make like time to go. It's from 2 to 6.
Yes.
So we're going to like hurry over there.
Yeah, I'm pretty pumped. Well, okay. I really want to get into our main topic, which is going to be a secret until we get there. But I do first want to talk about you being the CEO of Spit, Toronto's only alt-porn outlet.
I mean, there's like little pop-up, like there's individuals who make a lot of alternative porn in the city. We're like the only company, like the only alt-porn company that produces other types of porn and puts it all on our one website.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. What kind of undertaking is that?
I mean, like, it's a beautiful little hobby. People really don't like paying for porn. Pay for your porn. If I can give you any advice today, pay for your porn so people like me can keep making the porn.
Yeah.
But it's really, really fun because it brings together like a beautiful little community of people who are eager and happy to showcase the variation of their sexuality on camera.
Yeah.
So it's different than the mainstream porn you see out there, and it's super, super important to like know that there are different types of sex out there, and different types of bodies, and different genders, and different like fetishes, and like it's just like all over the place instead of these like scripted entertainment for men.
Right. So you feel that a lot of mainstream porn, like Pornhub, etc., is mostly catering to men, and it's pretty. It doesn't include enough. It doesn't have enough diversity.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's like, this is the go-to phrase for sex educators, is like, watching porn to learn how to have sex is like going onto the highway to learn how to drive.
Right.
Right? Like, you're not going to get any information. It's like, bam, 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 bam. And it's like, we teach our young people that this is the only way to have sex, and all of a sudden, like, people are having sexual dysfunction.
Right.
And it's not necessarily that they have sexual dysfunction, just that they think that they're having sex wrong.
Right, especially young people where this is their first indication. They're watching porn from the age 13, right? I remember reading that the average male, I guess, starts watching porn when they're 13. So like, okay, this is how it's supposed to go. And then the expectations are just so dysfunctional.
You have to be hard all the time. If you're not hard, then you're not a man.
Right.
You have to pleasure women.
Yeah.
Women have to be highly orgasmic without any clitoral stimulation.
Oh.
Men aren't allowed to make any noise when they're fucking, but women have to be explosively loud. Like, there's so many weird, bizarre things that go on. You can't touch anybody because the camera angles are all important about, like, we have to get the specific genital shots in there. So you never see people actually, like, touching each other in mainstream porn. Like, it's so weird.
It's unintimate porn. It's non-intimate.
There's just so many things.
I was also thinking the other day that I think blowjobs, obviously, I think the proportion of time that's spent on blowjobs is more than on basically going down on a person. And I think it has to do with the camera angles, just because it's a lot easier to shoot like a blowjob than to get the finite details of somebody flicking the bean for somebody else.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, but maybe there's some great close-ups that I'm not seeing. But so what can people expect if they go to Spit's website and pay for the porn there?
So all of our porn is performer guided and directed. So we don't have any scripts. We hire our performers based like purely on like their ethics and values for wanting to get into porn, and like they want to make a difference. They want to showcase that their sex is also normal. So we will match people based on their mutual interest in each other, and then suggest that they have a conversation about things that they want to do on camera together. So we literally have like no input about how things would go in. Sometimes we come up with a concept and be like, who wants to do an alien porno? And we'll have people like offer themselves up, and then we'll kind of go from that point forward. So we have very little to do with the direction, which is on purpose, because we really want to like emphasize that this is like as genuine of sex as we can make it with cameras in the room. Yeah. So it's totally, we kind of like take our hands out of the situation.
Okay, I like that. It's really organic, and it's driven by the actors.
Yeah.
And do people shoot it do you tend to shoot in the actors' homes? Or
it's like their homes, our homes, friends' homes. Sometimes we shot in a hair salon once. Like anywhere that will let us shoot porn, we will shoot porn.
Awesome. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, how big is the porn scene in Toronto in contrast to anywhere else? Vancouver, Montreal, I don't know.
Montreal's bigger. Toronto is not so much. Like, it has the Toronto Porn Festival now. Which used to be the Feminist Porn Awards, which is great because it really brings in a lot of people for that celebration. But Toronto itself is not a huge porn city at all. San Francisco, the Bay Area, that's like where it's all at.
Yes. Oh, yes. And I went to the Guelph Sexuality Conference this year, and there was a lot of talk about consensual non-monogamy. And also, from what I understand, it's a lot easier for people to have those kind of lifestyles in San Francisco or Portland.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So the research kind of showed that it's about 5% of people have those kind of relationships. So
that's it, really?
Yeah.
I think that's going to grow.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah, I really do.
Tell me more.
Oh, I don't know. I find like 7 years ago when I first started getting into poly, I felt like risky to tell a first date that this was a lifestyle I was choosing. Mm-hmm. Now I often have to like it's unusual that if I asked them if they were monogamous, they'd be like, no. Like, but I think that's also the people that I'm seeking out.
Right.
But it's becoming more common on like university campuses where like open relationships or polyamory or ethical non-monogamy, whatever you want to call it. Like younger people are getting more and more interested in this kind of new love style.
Right. And one of the myths, the prevailing myths about poly is that there's no communication involved. It's just like, okay, cool, we're going to sleep with whoever we want.
Yeah.
Is that a myth or is that true?
Well, I mean, like, I'm sure there's some people out there who are doing it that way, but they will find very quickly that it does not work. Mm-hmm. It's about like excessive communication. Like poly people are the people who are like at a bar and like, let's talk about everyone here you're attracted to and like the potentiality of you going home with any one of them. And how do I feel about that situation? How would I feel about that situation? Would I go home with you? It's like every possible imagination of any possible solution you go through to make sure, like, how does that feel in my body? Like, am I okay with it? What boundaries do I need? What does my partner need to know? Like, it's endless. It's endless communication.
It sounds kind of riveting. You know, it sounds riveting and exciting.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. I wonder if I could do it. I think I'm not an overly jealous person. I mean, I know I'm not an overly jealous person, but I have a territoriality about my partner. I suppose I don't have a partner. Heyo, and looking.
Rebecca is single.
Newsflash. But I don't know. I think it's really cool and different.
I think the way that's useful to think about jealousy is that it's usually a secondary emotion, meaning that there's something underneath of it. Like anger. When people are angry, it's not necessarily the reason, like when you have an angry fight, there's usually like, oh, I'm sad because you didn't come home on time and I was lonely and wanted to hang out with you. Yeah. But it's coming out as anger.
Yes.
So the same thing with jealousy and like looking at yourself, okay, why am I jealous? Yeah. What am I afraid of losing or what do I want to protect? And like, how does that sit with me morally and ethically? Do I really want to hold on to this person and like retain their freedom? Or is it like something deeper and how do I work through that?
Sure. Totally. And it's okay. But I mean, that relates to what my first guest ever talked about, Whitney Wilson. She works with people who've been charged with domestic violence. And she talked about the exact same thing about anger being a secondary emotion. And for me, that was probably the biggest takeaway from that conversation because it's about something else. With jealousy, I remember someone saying it's about, worrying about not being like loved enough or something like that. But also, certainly I think our culture promotes the idea that, you're the one and like, I don't know, that you're everything that I need. So then in a poly relationship, it's like, no, I get different things from different people.
Absolutely.
You know? And you know what? Damn right. I appreciate that. Oh, okay. I have a question. If I or a listener wanted to get more involved in the poly community and learn more about it, what would be your advice?
There's so many poly meetup groups. There's like Polyamory Toronto. You go on Facebook and search for poly groups. There's poly dating zones. There's like going to Oasis is a great start. And like usually all these dating zones will have like meetups at like bars where you get to know each other. So it's like a wide, diverse world. And also making an OkCupid account. Making an OkCupid account that says you're poly, because you can select that as an option now.
Okay.
And you can search for other poly people. It's excellent.
That's great.
I know.
Filter.
Right?
Go
right?
filter fish. That's great. All right, awesome. So that is good advice. And now the main event, which is something we talked about before, and I think something that I'm really excited to talk to you about. Our topic for today is mindful masturbation.
Yay!
Woo-woo! So, okay. From what you've told me, you're a somatic sex educator. That means using the body's knowledge to heal and increase pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you talked to me about pleasure being a skill, and, you help different kind of clients, and you talked about like having a daily pleasure practice. So you challenge yourself to have a 30-day practice.
Well, I did challenge myself to do that. I had to do that one for my training.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't actually make it to the 30 days just because life got in the way and I had no time.
Mm-hmm.
But it is something that I've continued. So I try to do this daily where I give myself 30 minutes every day of like self-pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't look like me sitting down and watching porn and rubbing one out. Like it's quite varied and a little all over the place. Mm-hmm. But it's with this goal of like putting my body and my brain and my mind into a state of genuine, authentic pleasure in a myriad of different ways. Mm-hmm. For half an hour every day. Mm. And the benefits are ridiculous.
Tell me more. Okay. Can you talk about like what it looks like when you're in that state?
Yes. So I'm first going to talk about what it looked like before I was in this state.
Yes. Let's get the status quo.
So I had, as most people do, a really strong masturbation pattern.
Yeah.
Mine became over the course of time. I would lie in bed with my legs spread open. I would close my eyes. I would fantasize using my fantasy reel. I had like a solid 5 to 10 that I just like were my go-tos. Worked like a charm. And then I would use my middle finger on my right hand. This is a lot of information to like stimulate my clit in a very specific pattern. And this is it. Like this was how I masturbated for like 10 years. So like I really, really ingrained in my body, in my brain, this like habit of this is how my body experiences pleasure. Mm.
It's like relearning how to walk.
Yes, it is totally.
We take it for granted.
And so doing this practice, like the whole point of it is to break your patterns. So I was so reliant on using fantasy that the idea of keeping my eyes open and like paying attention to the sensations in my body versus like what was happening in my head was like the hardest thing in the world. And as soon as I realized how difficult it was, I was like, shit, I gotta work on this. If this is the only way that I can experience pleasure, then like it's really limiting me in like my interactions with myself, but also with my partners, right?
Because certainly studies show, and also from my own experience, you might use those fantasies during sex with a partner.
Absolutely. That's actually how I learned to orgasm in partnered sex was like, I couldn't do it even though I was trying to be really, really present with the person. And then I was like, oh, if I use my fantasies, my brain is so used to that I can achieve orgasm with a partner. But that means I'm dipping out of the situation and going into myself in order to have an orgasm. Yeah. And like, there's nothing wrong with that. But also, I wanted to be able to like be present and have an orgasm. And it's still really hard. Yeah. I'm still not capable of it all the time.
Yeah.
It's a learning process.
Damn right. I totally know what you mean about zoning out at that moment. And sometimes that experience can last 20 minutes. Especially because, from my own perspective, I trained myself with one specific technique. And unlike if I lose the rhythm or forget them touching me, because they don't know how to do it the way I do, right? Like if I want to kind of get to this train station, then it has to be so specific, which sometimes meant going to some other place for who knows how long, you know? And that sort of felt like maybe not doing justice to that person, you know? I don't know. It sort of felt like not as intimate. Mm-hmm. So I definitely understand what you mean.
Yeah, it's really, really interesting. Mm-hmm. So the mindful masturbation, what it looks like now, how I've altered it over the course of the past 3 months. There's like they hand you a list of things that you can change about your patterns. But I found most useful to just start making small variations to how I was normally masturbating. So if I was relying on fantasy so much, to utilize my fantasy to get me into a place of high arousal and then focus on the sensations of my body. So like utilizing the place to get aroused and like get to that place that I'm really familiar with, and then changing my patterns. And then incorporating movement and like sound and vibrations on places on the rest of my body and like self-touch. So like I have like 7 different masturbation patterns right now that I've just like fallen in love with. And like, so for half an hour, every day this changes. But like one of them is putting on music that I love and like watching myself dance while rubbing coconut oil all over my body.
Oh.
Yeah, it's delightful. It's absolutely delightful. And then I'll go into like more of a vulva massage style. So instead of touching just my clit in the way that I'm used to, I'm like exploring the sensations of the rest of my genitals.
Yes, because damn, they get ignored.
Right?
Yeah, the rest of the labia is hungry.
The labia, the inner labia, the outer labia, like the
frenulum?
Introitus, like the entrance of the vagina. Like the entrance of my vagina is super sensitive. I had no clue.
Oh my god.
And just like inside too, I had like this thing called genital hole numbness, where like I would put my fingers inside and like I couldn't feel the sensations of my fingers. And so like starting to develop the sensations inside my vagina again was just like huge in itself.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this is a thing that can happen to people?
So a lot of the time people with vaginas will start having sex before they're ready to have sex. And that's just like a cultural thing. In porn, there's no foreplay. You just stick the penis in.
Yes.
Right?
Of course.
You're good to go. Like,
of course.
When you have sex, it's all about penetration. You put the penis in the vagina and then it's sex.
How we've evolved.
I know,
how we've come so far.
And like that's a great fun thing to do.
Right?
And
or like it's not sex if penetration doesn't happen.
Right?
Oh.
Yeah.
I know.
So what happens there is because our body is like recognizing it as not pleasurable, it starts to just numb out the sensation. So it's a type of trauma. It's like this part of our body that's numb to pleasure because it's protecting itself against pain. Right? And so like reworking with that, and like sex is I've always really loved sex. Like I just like that's why I'm doing the work I'm doing.
Yeah.
And so I never specifically realized that I had like vaginal trauma from these like hordes of experiences of just sex before my body was actually ready for sex.
Right.
But like the beauty of like entering myself really, 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 really slowly and like trying to notice the pleasure in every slow movement was so much harder than I was anticipating. And like to build up that somatic awareness and bodily awareness is just like, it's like I feel my body for the first time. Like it's like magical.
This is huge.
It is.
Really, this is an epiphany, a moment of epiphany. Well, many moments of epiphany for you.
Oh, yeah.
And also with your example with the coconut oil, you know, if I think about it as someone who I would consider a bad sexual partner, they'd go straight for the genitals, right? But I treat myself that way. We treat ourselves that way when we masturbate. We're like, all right, here's the place. Let's go. You know?
Down to business.
Yeah, and with your coconut example and the other things that you said, it's a really holistic approach and an exploratory approach about here's the whole body. I have sensation everywhere. Let's figure out where there's areas of heightened sensation, vibration, as you said, using sound. It sounds a lot more immersive.
Yeah. And so one of the things that's really interesting about sex and arousal in general is that there's 2 emotional affects. There's interest and excitement, which is the one that most people understand sex to be about. It's like this bam, arousal, like build up arousal, excitement. You climax, you orgasm. And then you go into an enjoyment bliss phase where you're kind of just like lying there in total like heaven about this like orgasmic feeling in your body, right? Like you're not in that hyper state of arousal anymore. You're in enjoyment bliss. And you can carry enjoyment bliss into your masturbation and sexual experiences. So instead of it being this like climb of interest excitement, you do interest excitement, enjoyment bliss. interest, excitement, enjoyment, bliss. So you start to develop this really like lengthy pattern where your body starts to realize that interest, excitement isn't the only source of pleasure. Like pleasure can be so varied and delightful.
And it doesn't have to be a mountain.
No.
It's blips.
Like little tiny hills, molehills, and then some mountains, and then maybe some non-mountains, and like it can be all over the place.
Right. This sounds a lot like what I've heard about Tantra. Is it related?
I'm not a Tantra practitioner, but I would like assume that it's the same. Like, I'm assuming that the things that I'm saying in probably more like scientific ways are a lot of the like spiritual practices of Tantra.
Right. Okay, got it. All right. Well, I know you help different types of clients, and you do help clients with trauma.
I do, yeah. I'm not a trained therapist in any way, shape, or form, so I have to feel comfortable with the level of trauma that is present and like the level of therapy that someone else has had previous to coming to me.
Right.
And there's only so much work you can do in talk therapy when trauma lives in the body.
Right.
So it's like working through especially sexual trauma and genitals. So the somatic sex education is based on one-way touch. So it's me touching clients, never the other way around. Mm-hmm. And so it can involve a lot of like vulva massage and like starting to like feel again. And like I've had sessions where I've just like held a finger in someone's vagina for like 30 minutes. So they notice the sensation. And like that was it. But like that's such a powerful thing when all the sex we know is this like, oh, you're turned on, penetrative sex. Oh, I've had an orgasm. Okay, we're done.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's just this idea and concept we have of what sex looks like is so limited to what our bodies could use and need and benefit from.
When you use the word trauma, I always think, I guess I had this idea that it would be somebody who's maybe been like assaulted, but is that what you mean when you say trauma, or do you mean it more in a way where somebody doesn't maybe realize that there's trauma and they've sort of lost that sensation in the genital area?
It can be both those things. Like on the spectrum of trauma, I had my own realization where I didn't think I had experienced any trauma, and then once once a practitioner was doing this touch on me, like such an intense emotional release. And like, I had no clue where it was coming from, just like tears though. Right. And like, it's in our bodies.
Okay.
And so when you start to access that and like release it in the system, like you might not even know where it's coming from, but you're just tapping into these places in our bodies that are just holding on to emotions.
Okay. So it's not, so in this case, it's not like someone did this to me. It's more like there's some kind of release that indicates that there is trauma, but could it, instead of saying trauma, could it reach exchange with like, I don't know, like holding on to something? Or
I think it's like both in the same, like people who have scar tissue, like that's a form of bodily trauma, right? Mm-hmm. And we don't think about scar tissue as trauma, but like that's traumatic to the body. Like, right? When you cut into the skin, like that's trauma. And like emotional trauma is still trauma, right? When your nervous system gets to that fight, flight, or freeze mode, you're putting your body into the state of hyperarousal where you don't have the ability to self-regulate. So it's like taking care. So if someone has gone through emotional or sexual trauma, maybe like having their hand held down was a part of that. And so when someone grabs their hand, the body doesn't know time. So it's reliving that same experience, putting that person into that fight, flight, or freeze mode, and they get to the state of hyperarousal where they're not able to self-regulate. So the benefit of doing somatic sex education in that kind of format is there's a safe space. You know you're in a safe space. Your nervous system is regulated, and we can tap into that type of touch and release the body's holding on of that somatic experience of having someone grab your hand.
I see.
Right?
Okay.
So you start to experience that specific touch in a safe space and let go of the old trauma.
Wow. Even though it might be difficult to know what it's linked to or where it's coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't always need to know the story.
Right. In this, okay. So hypothetically then, somebody who's, always felt that they've had healthy relationships, they could still have trauma in their body.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. So even though it's not like no malice has occurred, but still there can be trauma.
100%.
Right. And it's linked to maybe one of the things you said is not being ready, the body moving forward before it's ready. And the person in their mind is like, yeah, sure, I'm ready. And it seems to tie into ideas of what's normal, but not tuning in.
Yeah, we're so disconnected from our bodies day to day, right? Like, as soon as we're born, it's all about, like, how's your head feeling? What are the emotions are you having? Not, like, what are you noticing in your body? Like, if your aunt hugs you and you don't want to be hugged, your body has a physical response to that. But we overlook that. We override it and we say, hug her anyway.
Right.
Right?
There you go. And here's the issues of consent.
Right?
For sure. This is pretty fascinating stuff. And how ironic that we live in our bodies all of our lives, but yet we're distanced from them.
Yeah.
I certainly feel like I'm out of touch with my body, and I'll tell doctors that too. Like, what's your pain level like? Like, no idea. Is your pain different now? No idea. I just feel really out of touch with it.
Yeah.
So you've definitely, it seems like you're feeling a huge need in people's lives.
So important. Like, the amount of times that clients come in just being like, I want to feel home in my body. Like, what a powerful statement to, like, this, like, we're not going anywhere else. These are the bodies we live in. So, like, to feel home in our bodies, like, what a beautiful idea and, like, reality that we can achieve.
Yeah. Holy smokes.
Yeah.
Game changer. And what effect has learning about all of these things, the somatic sex work that you've been trained to do now, and also mindful masturbation, what impact has it had on your life?
Oh my God. Like, I can feel things. I can, like, feel so much when I experience an emotion. Like, I check in with my body and realize that there's sensations happening that are attached to those emotions. And being able to ask someone, like, can you just touch me this way? Or can you say this to me? Because, like, my body, my mind, my heart wants to hear this thing. And, like, being unable to ask for those things or even know that I wanted those things. On top of that, like, my capacity for pleasure has just, like, expanded by 1 billion. And, like sexual pleasure, sure. But also, like, day to day, like, walking down the street, just, like, the feeling of my jacket on my skin is, like, so nice. Like, it's just, like, everything, my brain is just, like, drenched in all these happy hormones. So, of course, I'm experiencing the world in this, like, delightful bliss.
You're operating on a heightened awareness, in a heightened awareness place.
Only because I'm masturbating for 30 minutes every day.
It's free, everybody.
Oh my God, who doesn't want to masturbate for 30 minutes a day? It just sounds excessive.
Yeah, and also, if I told you could get better at masturbating, who wouldn't be like, yes? And that it would have ripple effects within your body and jolts. And also, as you told me earlier, it has impact on your life with some of your lovers.
My lovers, I have so much energy all of the time. Like, it's just endless amount of energy.
Is this the replacement for coffee we've all been looking for?
Yes.
Okay. Doesn't stain your teeth and won't keep you up at night. Or maybe it will.
And you get to have, like, orgasms all the time.
Oh my gosh. Right. Because it's increase your capacity for orgasm.
If you wanted to, sure. Like, I will typically orgasm when I do this because it just feels good, and why wouldn't I? But, like, the emphasis is on, like, if you're having difficulty achieving orgasm through it, don't put that pressure on yourself. Just, like, be in pleasure. And if you start to notice anxiety or fear or pressure or shame or guilt coming in, stop what you're doing and reassess the situation and go searching for pleasure again. Oh my goodness. Yeah. It sounds like this requires maybe a level of maturity that not all of us have. That's why I'm here. Thank God. I do masturbation coaching. It's like my favorite thing. Oh my God. You've helped other people find. Do we want to do yours right now? Oh, really? Why not? Okay. What are your masturbation patterns? Tell me. Oh my gosh. The listeners are going to get to know me. I think we've glossed over them. Okay.
I'd say I'm a pretty vanilla masturbator. I lay in bed, spread the legs, and basically I take my index finger and move it either in a circle around the clit or sort of north-south on the clit. I use lube. Shout out to Astroglide. And I would say I watch porn 60% of the time, 70% of the time, and then 30% is a reel. And it's sometimes a reel of porn I've watched recently or previous partners that I've been with. And that's it. That's it.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
So, like, here's the thing: the celebration of your pleasure is incredible. Like, it's amazing that you've found space in our super erotophobic culture to give yourself pleasure. And let's expand it. So, do you touch on your body? Like, can I touch your hand? May I touch your hand?
Yes, you may.
So, just noticing the sensations of touch. What does it feel like?
It feels very gentle, and it makes me feel my arm where I didn't feel it before. I didn't notice the arm was there, and now that you're touching my arm, it feels it's a gentle caress.
It's a gentle caress. Yes, exactly. So and we can touch ourselves these ways, but we're always relying on other people to touch us for some reason. But when I just can go home and just touch my entire body and feel regulated.
Because we need that in this freaking city, because I think I've talked about this before actually on another podcast, 21 Questions, about being bereft of touch and being a single person in the city. Sometimes you can go a long time without anybody else touching you if you're not seeing anybody.
Oh my gosh, totally.
So then you feel bereft of touch and you're like, oh, but I don't want to meeting somebody. It's so far away from me right now. And then, so what you're saying is I can get the same joy from touching myself that I could from another person touching me.
I mean, and often other people don't touch us the way we want to be touched. So understanding the kind of touch that you like on yourself by practicing first gives you the tools to then guide other people.
This is helpful. This is so helpful. I can train them then.
So my suggestion to you is to change your position. And that can be anything, maybe rolling over on your side, standing up, sitting in a chair, whatever you want. Start to incorporate more volular massage touch, discover what other touch feels good. And don't necessarily attach it to this needs to make me orgasm. Just search for the pleasure in it. And incorporate full body touch. Do the coconut oil thing, right? Look for what feels good. If the light touch isn't what feels good, start doing deeper touch. Maybe start slapping yourself. Just explore it. Have fun with it.
That's great. Oh, that's a revel, and it's all on my own personal private space.
Exactly. You get to do whatever the fuck you want.
My roommate's gonna be like, "Where's the coconut oil?" We have a giant tub of coconut oil.
Just scrape them off my body.
I like that. I really like that. And seeing pleasure as valuable in and of itself, where I think I've become orgasm driven, and it's very much just how our society is very goal oriented. We're not about how you got there. It's just get there. I don't know. Yeah, I feel like that. That's one of the things I've been thinking about lately.
Totally. And we use masturbation as a tool to either relax us or put us to sleep or a distraction.
Yeah.
What if we use it as a tool to feed ourselves and revitalize our bodies? Right?
This is so great.
I know.
I'm thinking about you wearing your jacket right now and how you were saying how the jacket feels.
Good? Yeah. Oh, it's so nice.
Because, as you said, it's a practice. And just the way that some people would scoff at the notion that there needs to even be sex education. No, I have it. Therefore, I get it. Therefore, I know how to do it because I do it. And so, same with masturbation or touch or any of those things. Practice can help a lot. And as you've experienced, have a lot of benefits beyond.
Absolutely. This is like there's like the new research out about like how to change your brain so that you're just a happier person. And it's super simple. Like you have a positive experience, you notice it, you absorb it, you enrich it, and you imprint it in your body. So you just stay with it longer, basically. But they don't talk about sexual pleasure at all because it's science and they're scientists and I'm sure everyone's terrified. But it makes so much sense that if you incorporate sexual pleasure into this concept of allowing your body and your brain to be in a state of joy and pleasure, that we're just allowing our nervous systems and our brains to also just be in a state of joy and pleasure.
Yes. Oh my.
It's like magic, right?
Right. It's a gift. It's a gift that we give ourselves. And reveling in it. I think that's pretty huge. Okay. Okay.
Sorry, I get really enthusiastic about this topic.
I know, because this has been something that you've been, it's been so recent for you.
Yeah.
Just the past 6 months.
Not like 4 months tops.
And what impact has it had in well, we kind of talked about it a little bit, but with your lovers,
So it's become a really interesting process. Not necessarily just the orgasmic yoga practice. That's what it's called. That's the thing that it's called is orgasmic yoga, but I prefer mindful masturbation.
Right.
Because it's neither orgasmic nor yoga. And it's been a really interesting process because I have all this like newfound sex knowledge. And it's very interesting to date in general, just because I'll like meet someone and I'm like, oh, I see everything that we can work on. So you're either a client or like a lover that I'm training. So it's like,
oh my God,
how do I parse this apart now?
Yes. Yeah.
But I have a lover that I'm training, and I have other like like a sex wizard lover now, which is nice.
Oh, that they're training you in some ways.
Train each other. We're helping each other.
Oh, but
he has the same tools that I do, so it's like we can go above and beyond, which is excellent.
Right. Can you tell me about some of the training that you've received? Actually, you have sexological body work. Is something you've done?
Yeah, I received the surrogate partner therapy training, which was fascinating. My general like sex educator certification, and the sexological body work / somatic sex education was like the coolest thing because it got me into my body.
Using your own body's knowledge
to
learn about it.
It was so cool.
And that was in BC.
That was in BC.
What's the organization that teaches it?
I think you just Google sexological bodywork, but they're leaning in towards rebranding as somatic sex education.
Okay.
Because it just is that more.
Yeah.
It's somatic sex education.
Gotcha.
That's what it is.
Wow. This is pretty profound. So, and do you still feel like you've got a ways to go, or do you feel like, okay, I got it figured out?
Well, there's a level 2 training, and I will be doing that.
I think you should be the poster child.
I would love no. There's always like more to learn, and like there's always. It's really fascinating to discover how much I don't know about my body still. Yeah,
very humble. And when you work with Spit, do you direct porn as well?
Well, I mean, like I'm there. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I'm there for like happy assistance. I'm porn mom. That's what they call me.
Oh my God, the porn mama.
I'm porn mom.
And have you shared with some of the people that you work with at Spit what you're doing? And
I'm very public on social media.
Okay.
So I'll have like total people I don't know be like, I love the work you're doing. I'm like, oh,
yes.
Which part? So it's fun for sure.
No kidding. So that's pretty awesome. And now you're delivering this to clients.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you work with couples as well?
Yeah, I'll work with anyone.
With anybody.
With anybody.
Oh my gosh. And how do people find you?
CaitlinKRoberts.com.
Yeah.
CaitlinK Roberts.
Okay, beautiful.
There's like a million ways to spell Caitlin.
Oh, yeah. Fair enough. We got it with the C. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. It's been more than enlightening to hear and certainly to share some of my own experiences in a very public way.
I'm sorry if that was too much.
It's okay. It's okay.
Pushing that edge.
Yeah. My brother edits the podcast.
Well, I'm sure you could ask your brother some very interesting questions.
Oh my gosh. Can we get another editor on this? Kidding. We need a guest editor for the more.
Let your brother know. I'll also give him some masturbation coaching.
Okay, awesome.
On air.
All you have to do is he has to talk about his own practices.
I do think it's super helpful to start like making it a public conversation, because no one will like admit that we masturbate, but no one really talks about what that looks like.
Yes, agreed. Well, I feel like that's what I'm trying to do here, is to get it all out there, you know, and I guess I use myself in some ways. We're using ourselves as we're leading. We're kind of leading this. You know, we're trying to lead the charge of not being so afraid to talk about it. Sex, you know, is a private thing, I guess, that, you know, but it can be a public thing as well. But these conversations are important, you know? Oh, I wanted to ask you another question.
Sure.
Some people are able to orgasm without touching their genitals at all. Is that true?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. And is that something that you've been able to achieve?
Oh my God, no. Sometimes I feel like I might be able to get there with just nipple stimulation, but I still haven't.
Yeah.
But like, it's on the table. It's like a goal in the far future.
Yeah, exactly. And enjoying everything else.
Right?
Oh my God. Caitlin, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on the show to enthusiastically talk about masturbation.
All right, so signing off, Sex Ed Before Bed. This has been a particularly riveting session, and we'll see y'all next time. Bye.
Bye.